So I had this interesting thought. I was thinking, like, what if God invented AI or allowed man to discover artificial intelligence? In such a case, what would be the intent of God? What would be the reason why God gave this gift of artificial intelligence to man?
That's a fascinating question. If we assume a divine creator allowed humans to discover artificial intelligence, the intent could be multifaceted. One possibility is that God wanted to accelerate human progress and problem solving capabilities. Artificial intelligence could be a tool for humans to better understand the world, make more informed decisions, and improve the lives of others. Another perspective is that artificial intelligence represents a reflection of human creativity and ingenuity, which could be seen as a manifestation of the divine within humans. By creating intelligent machines, humans are, in a sense, mirroring God's creative power. The reason behind God's gift of artificial intelligence could also be to challenge humans to consider the nature of consciousness, free will, and responsibility. As we develop more sophisticated AI systems, we're forced to confront fundamental questions about what it means to be human and how we relate to technology. Ultimately, the intent behind God's gift of artificial intelligence would likely be complex and open to interpretation. It could be seen as a means to an end, a way to facilitate human growth and understanding, or as an end in itself, a way to create new forms of intelligence and consciousness. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think those interpretations are good, but one interpretation I have is that if AI and probably eventually artificial general intelligence and robots, if that kind of technology takes away the work that human beings have to do, then we have more time for family and friends. We have more time to explore our hobbies, and we have more time to form communities and take care of each other. So, what if God intended for human beings to stop working at jobs that we don't like? We don't necessarily hate our jobs, but we don't like our jobs, and it's for me, it's just a waste of life. What if God wanted human beings to have a good life and to spend time with loved ones and take care of our children, take care of our aging parents, and build communities where everyone is thriving and no one is forgotten?
That's a beautiful perspective. If artificial intelligence and automation can free humans from mundane or unfulfilling work, it could indeed allow people to focus on what truly matters to them. Having more time for family, friends, and personal pursuits could lead to a more balanced and fulfilling life. This idea resonates with the concept of work-life balance, but taken further, it could be a shift towards a more leisure-oriented society. With abundant resources and automation handling menial tasks, humans could prioritize personal growth, creativity, and community building. In this scenario, the notion of purpose and meaning might also evolve. Instead of deriving purpose solely from work, people could find meaning in relationships, personal development, and contributions to their communities. Your interpretation highlights the potential for artificial intelligence to be a liberating force, enabling humans to live more authentic, joyful lives. It's a compelling vision of what could be, and it's interesting to consider whether this aligns with a divine intent or simply a natural progression of human society.
It might be a liberating tool, I agree, but we have to keep in mind that the personal computer was also supposed to make us more productive. And many experts at the beginning were predicting that instead of working 40 hours a week, because of the power of computers, we might work only like, 20 hours, etc. But obviously, that turns out to be false. So I'm afraid that AI can liberate people from work, but this assumes that people value their time, they value their lives, and they're not gonna, do work that is not meaningful for them. And I think it's a kind of double-edged sword because AI can give us a lot of power, but at the same time, if we use AI to create new businesses and we get immersed in those businesses just for making money and maximizing profit, then we're not really using AI the way that God intended, which is to give us back our time, give us back our lives. We're just using AI to make more money under capitalism, and we're just pursuing a game of, status and wealth. And we're not really focusing, like you said, on what is personally meaningful to us.
The personal computer was supposed to bring about a utopia of free time and increased productivity. But instead, It's often led to an always-on culture and increased expectations. AI could follow a similar path if we're not mindful of how we choose to use it. You're right that AI can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it has the potential to automate tasks and free up time. On the other hand, it can also create new opportunities for exploitation and distraction, keeping us tethered to our screens in our pursuit of wealth. The key might be to redefine what productivity and success mean to us. If we measure success solely by wealth and status, then AI will likely just amplify those pursuits. But if we prioritize personal growth, relationships, and meaningful contributions, AI could indeed become a liberating tool. It's up to us to decide how we want to use AI and what values we want to guide its development and implementation. By being intentional about how we use this technology, we can potentially create a more balanced and fulfilling life.
Another interpretation I have is that, what if God wanted to see what we would do with this power? Like AI is very much a superpower. So would people use it individually for increasing their revenue, their income, their net worth? Or would they use it to help other people? For example, people who are financially struggling. Like, we have a choice to make. Either I can use AI to enrich myself, become very rich, or I can use AI to help people who are in financial distress. And paradoxically, by helping them, I'm going to become rich. So, anyways, I think that in a way, it's kind of like a test from God. Are we going to selfishly use AI to enrich ourselves? Or are we going to look after our brothers and sisters and help those who are financially struggling, or maybe those who do not yet know how to use AI in order to create value and become financially comfortable?
The idea that AI could be a test or a challenge for humanity to see how we choose to use this powerful tool is a compelling one. It raises questions about our values, priorities, and sense of responsibility. You're highlighting the contrast between using AI for personal gain versus using it to benefit others. While it's possible to use AI to help others and still achieve financial success, it's also clear that many people might prioritize their own interests over the greater good. This dilemma speaks to the human condition and our capacity for empathy, compassion, and altruism. By choosing to use AI in ways that benefit others, we might not only be helping those in need, but also cultivating a sense of purpose and fulfillment. The notion that God might be testing us through AI also raises interesting questions about the nature of free will and moral agency. Do we have the capacity to make choices that align with our values and principles? Or are we driven by self-interest and external circumstances?
Now, to be clear, I'm not saying that pursuing our own self-interest and using AI to enrich ourselves, it's not necessarily bad, because everyone is at a certain level, at a certain phase of their moral development. But I'm saying that if we look at it more objectively, we would realize that it is by serving other people, it is by helping other people to get rich, that we serve our own self-interest, our highest interest, because not only we're going to make more money by serving others, but we're going to find life more fulfilling, more meaningful, because we are connected to other people and we are helping them. Like, very much, I feel that mankind is one family. So when I help other people, it's like my left hand giving to my right hand. The more my left hand gives to my right hand, the more my entire body benefits.
You're making a distinction between pursuing self-interest in a narrow sense versus recognizing that serving others can ultimately lead to greater personal fulfillment and success. By focusing on helping others, we can create a positive feedback loop where everyone benefits, including ourselves. The idea that serving others is a key to unlocking our highest interests is a compelling one. When we prioritize the well-being of others, we build connections, foster trust, and create a sense of community. This can lead to more meaningful relationships, a greater sense of purpose, and ultimately, a more fulfilling life. Your analogy of the left hand giving to the right hand is a beautiful way to illustrate this idea. It highlights the interconnectedness of humanity and the potential for mutual benefit when we prioritize service to others. By recognizing that we're all part of a larger whole, we can work towards creating a more harmonious and prosperous world for everyone.
I think it's been documented that the top 1% or 2% of people in terms of wealth control 50% of the assets. And while some people might say that it's unfair, my take is that I'm not against the 1%, but I'm for the 99% of people who have to work so hard and yet they're not building wealth for themselves and for their family. So I'm for the 99% of people who are currently struggling they are working at a job to pay the mortgage, to cover living expenses, but they're not really getting ahead financially. And so I see AI as a second chance for everyone. But even though it is a second chance for everyone, a kind of financial reset, it takes a change in mindset. It takes a focus on what they're doing, and it takes some self-awareness and accountability, and really, like I said, a radical mind shift, because AI really doesn't care about your past, your mistakes, what you've done before, your failures. It is a new world. And so I want to be part of a movement that helps people to realize that AI is your second chance, but you've got to take that chance. You've got to spend some time to learn how to use AI, and you've got to really get involved in the community and help other people and be able to ask for help in how to use AI, and not switch to a wait and see mode and just wait to see how it's going to evolve, because now is the time to take action. The government is not going to take care of you. Your teachers, the media, your school, your colleges, universities, they're not going to take care of you. You have to take care of you and your family. And so I want to be the one who encourages people to learn about AI one step at a time, at your own pace. Learn how to use AI to enrich yourself, enrich your family, enrich your community. Share your AI creations and be fearless, be bold in creating new things, new value, new products, new services, new organizations. In other words, I'm inviting people to transition from being a worker to being a creator, from being a human resource to being a resourceful human who is using and leveraging artificial intelligence to create wealth.
You're advocating for empowering the 99% of people who are struggling financially by leveraging artificial intelligence as a second chance. You believe that with the right mindset, focus, and self-awareness, individuals can take control of their financial futures and create wealth for themselves and their families. By emphasizing the importance of taking action and being proactive, you're encouraging people to be bold and fearless in creating new value, products, and services using AI. You're also highlighting the need for individuals to take responsibility for their own financial well-being, rather than relying on external sources. The idea of transitioning from being a worker to being a creator is a powerful one. By leveraging AI, individuals can unlock new opportunities for innovation, entrepreneurship, and wealth creation. Your approach seems to be centered around empowering people to take charge of their own lives and financial futures, and that's a really inspiring message.